thanks for tuning in, and this is the first episode of my writing series, which I'm going to call The Journey to the Returnees. So The Returnees is actually the title of my debut novel, which is about 3 characters who go to Nigeria, and the book covers the first year of them being there. So yeah, I decided to start this series because whenever I meet people, they tend to ask about my writing journey, my writing process, and all of that. And I thought this would be like a really fantastic time to do that. My book comes out on the 11th of June. Go check it out. Go pre-order if you can. And yeah, I'll just get straight into it. So this first episode will be starting right from the beginning, because I always get that question: how did you start? Have you always known you wanted to write? Have you always wanted to be a writer? All of that. So yeah, that's what this episode is going to be about. So writing for me was not something I'd always done since I was a toddler or something like that, because sometimes you tend to hear other writers say that, oh, I've been writing ever since I could write, or oh, when I was much younger I wrote a novel, I wrote a book or something like that, and my parents couldn't get the pens and pencils out of my hand. That was never my case. When I think much more of my early childhood and my adolescence, I guess I was much more of a reader. So I really loved reading. I would read anything around. I would borrow novels, books from friends in school, friends in my neighborhood. I would go to the libraries, all that stuff. So I was much more of a reader. I always had this dream, this fantastical dream of, oh, I wish I could write, because the stories I always read were so beautiful. So for me, it really, the only, I think, significant time I sort of remember in my early days was much actually when I was a teenager, and I was about 14 years old. We had been given an assignment in school where we're told to write a story, not more than, I think, either 100 or 150 words. And I really put my all into that story. I remember just writing it and thinking to myself, wow, did I just come up with this all by myself? And I kept editing and refining the words until it was sort of perfect. And back in those days, I was writing with a pen in my book, so I kept ripping up the pages, writing it again, ripping up the page, because I didn't want to sort of cancel and submit that book to the teacher with so many cancellations. Yeah, I really remembered, that was one of the first time I really put my all into creative writing. Ever since then, I would write and just do things that we had been given as assignment, but it hadn't pulled me that much. So that's one of my early memories when I was 14. After that, I started writing a bit, but because I never really told anyone, I never really shown anyone, so I just thought, oh, I was not good enough. It was just something that I did every now and again that I enjoyed doing. And then I was inspired at some point. I think by this time I was probably 18 or 19 years old, by someone else on social media who was pursuing her passion so fervently, and I just thought to myself, wow, I actually love writing. Let me try and maybe do this a bit more. So I opened a Tumblr account, and it was anonymous because I was still a bit shy and all of that. So I would write here and there. I remember when Obama was actually elected, I wrote about that. So it wasn't just fiction at the time I was writing much things that was going on around us as well. I wrote some poetry about some things I was going through. But I never really told anyone until I got into university. And it was my second year. I just come back from Canada because I studied in Canada for a while as part of my course. And I came back and I was just going through my university's website, and I saw this vacancy looking for a British Nigerian writer. I thought, I fit the British Nigerian part, but the writer not so much. But why not? The most they can say is, I'm just this little girl here in my bedroom in Brighton. No one knows who I am. My email, who cares about that? No one can trace me. I'm just gonna submit this application form, and probably I'll never hear back from them, and if I do, maybe they'll say no, but who cares? I'm not telling any of my friends. It's not gonna hurt me in any way. So I sent the application form. They had asked, I think, to send a story as well, so I sort of looked in my archive for one of the stories I had written previously, edited it a bit and sent it off. And then I head back, and it was quite interesting, quite positive. They wanted to see more of what I could do, and I was like, oh wow, interesting. Now I'm really gonna go for it, because apart from it just being a writing job, it was actually something, so the company actually works in the development sector, development industry, and we were creating a platform which was also going to sort of equip people in sub-Saharan Africa with key skills of numeracy, literacy, talking about, you know, behaviors, attitude, you know, gender empowerment and all of that. So it was something I was very passionate about, and I'd always said to myself, like, you know, I'd want to give back in some way, and if it's the little way I can, I would like to do that. And it came through writing, so I was really quite interested in the job, and I was like, okay, they're sort of interested now, I have to like put more effort. So I edited more stories I'd written in the past, sent again. And yeah, another positive response. I was like, wow, really? You love that story? That was about something that happened all the way back in Nigeria. Okay, whatever. So now the next task was for me to actually now create a series of Nigerians who had moved to the UK and how their sort of integration into life here was going on. It was just like, come up with a storyline, just blow me away. I was like, wow, okay, this seems to be like the final test. I have to give this my all. This job sounds amazing. At the time I was studying psychology and sociology, so it wasn't really, you know, story or creative based, but I'd always been curious about the arts, but I never really pursued it in a professional capacity, given my background and always sort of being in the science realm. So anyway, I came up with this storyline, plot, the characters and everything, and sent it off. And then the last response, I sort of knew I got the job because it was really positive. It was like, oh yeah, let's meet for tea here, blah blah blah. It sounded more of like a formal meetup than an interview. So at that point I was thinking, I think I got this job. Anyway, met up with the woman who became my manager, and yeah, we met up, we got on really well. We talked more about what her project was about. It wasn't something that was already ongoing, it was something that was about to start. We were about to get some funding for it, and yeah, they were looking for a writer to like complete that process and put their whole plan, I guess, forward. Anyway, long story short, I started working on the platform as the only writer, creative writer on that platform. I was also the community manager on that platform, and it was like one of the most amazing times of my life. By this time I was in my second year, still doing it, and I was getting like thousands of monthly views. It was incredible. It got up to like hundreds of thousand views, because the platform was integrated. I wouldn't go too much into that. It was integrated into some other app and some other things that really ramped up the marketing. So I was literally getting thousands of people reading my stories, and it was just mind-blowing. People who didn't know me commenting, complimenting, saying what a amazing writer and all of that. And I was just thinking, wait a minute, this is me they're talking about. Me who've always thought like I wasn't good at writing. Me that was always wishing, or maybe in another life I could be a writer. Me that was just thinking writing was beyond my capabilities. And these are people who don't know me, so they're not obligated or trying to be nice about complimenting me. They're just doing it because they actually enjoyed what I was producing. So I was like, wait a minute, okay, I think I have something here. And that sort of boosted my confidence, in some way validated me as well. And it was like, okay. And then I thought to myself, I was like, well, this company is like a full-fledged business running, and they're paying me monthly for writing the stories. I don't know anyone in this company. I'm not related to them in any way. So why are they paying me all this money? Surely I'm good in some way, because why would someone just give you money if you're not doing a good job, right? So that sort of like validated, I guess, my writing abilities as well. Yeah, so when you're in university and you're getting paid that the amount of money I was, that sort of made me understand that, okay, no, I actually am doing a good job, because I was balling, trust, I was balling. I was able to save and travel with the money I earned from that job. So that sort of really got it in my head that I had a knack for it. And that just boosted my confidence so much more, and through that I was just so much passionate about it. So at some point the contract for that particular creative project I was working on ended, and there was a gap between the company putting me on another project. And I was sort of like, oh, I want to keep writing, I want to keep doing this thing I love, but I had to wait. So I said to myself, are you just going to lose this because a company doesn't put you on another project? So I just had this idea that that time I started seeing more about blogging. Well, I knew about blogging, but sort of creating your own platform rather than just having a Tumblr account. So I said to myself, you know what, you actually have to continue this and see where it goes. Not just see where it goes, but I wanted to create a portfolio so that, you know, because that company was in Brighton, I was going to finish university soon, I'm going to move back to London, you know, I'm going to, you know, want to just follow my career in this field. So I knew that I needed an online portfolio that I could show prospective employers, clients, people who were going to be interested in my writing. So I got someone to set up, get a web designer to set up a blog for me, and then I just started blogging, and that went really well. And yeah, that's sort of really how my writing started. It all started in my second year at University of Sussex, and it was one of my best times, and it was so timely as well, because if you think about when you're about to finish university, it's usually the time a lot of people, if you're not quite sure about their career path, they started like, you know, really stress about it, really think about what sort of jobs would I start applying for, you know, am I going to do a master's? And those were the sort of thoughts I was having. But at the point I graduated, I knew I wasn't going to pursue psychology head on anymore, because I just fell in love with writing. I was doing content creation. This was way before content creation became like a thing and a buzzword, before social media managers and all this sort of things came up. It was still the early stages, and I was sort of really excited in this whole new world. And yeah. Yeah, I think that's sort of where I'll end this this episode on how my writing started. So now I hope you've got to understand I didn't start really early on. I didn't start like when I was a year old like lots of people, lots of other writers say, oh, I've been writing since I could spell. No, I wasn't. So I hope this helps to inspire other people. If you're a writer and you'd like to get published, you know, just keep going, keep working on your craft. If you're someone who would love to be a writer but you're thinking you're perhaps not good enough, or because you haven't been practicing it's frequently, you can start whenever. There's no time to start, there's no deadline to start writing. Just start writing whenever you can and just keep going, and the more you do it, the better you become. Because when I think about some of the blog posts I have and I read back, and I'm just like, what? Why did I think this was good? And I'm like, I hope no one discovers this blog post, because you're just not talking, like, it just shows me how far I've come, how I've improved, because I can edit my work so clearly now. Like, I see all the gap holes, you know, all the errors and all the different words I would use now, and that just shows you my progression. And I wouldn't be able to progress if I hadn't kept on writing. If I just stopped then thinking I wasn't good enough, I wouldn't be where I am. So just keep going. If you're a writer, if you want to be published, if you want to write a book, there's no deadline, there's no time to start. You can start now, no matter how old you are. And yeah, I hope this has helped inspire you in some ways. I'll be releasing new videos, obviously, like I said earlier, telling you how the journey to publishing The Returnees came about. But this is it for this episode, how my writing started. I think the next one will probably be, what would it be? How the idea for The Returnees came about. Yeah, I think that'll be the next one. That's a good progression from there. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do like, do share with your friends that you know sort of which will be useful too. Subscribe to my channel. Maybe I can do much more videos, and do leave a comment down below. And yeah, the book comes out 11th of June. It's called The Returnees. It's available on Amazon, it's available WH Smith, it's available in Waterstones as well. And yeah, there'll be more bookshops carrying it, and as soon as I get this more information, I'll be passing it along to you guys. For now, take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.